Hello everybody, welcome to Songbirds Creations Crochet and More. Sorry I'm late, but YouTube is doing its best to be a jerk again this morning. And I don't see the chat. Ugh. It ain't one thing, it's 10 others. Ah, there it comes, finally. So, hello everyone. Thanks so much for coming today. We're going to have some fun, I think. Hello, Bibi. Welcome in. Nice to see you. Yeah, coffee. Hear my bird? She is off the hook this morning. Oh, cinnamon rolls. Yum. I want some cinnamon rolls. Crochet story. Good morning, Tink. Good morning, Julianne. You know, Camille, the bird sounds are okay if it's not like right in your ear. She's basically right across from me, so she is a little noisy. And the really high-pitched sound kind of reverberates in my ear, so I don't love it. I'm actually considering where else I can put her so she's not right in my ear like that. I invaded her spot. Yeah. No, she invaded mine, actually. I need an earplug for my... Yeah, that might be a good thing to do, Karen. Actually, it's both ears, though, because she's like right here, so it does get to me. I'm thinking about when I finally get things changed around, I'm thinking I'm going to move her across the living room from where I am now. So how is everybody this morning? I hope you're all doing well, having a good weekend. My weekend has been fairly quiet, but nice. I don't mind quiet weekends. I got my new phone yesterday. I'm so happy. It has tons of memory, so I can do some live streams while I'm out and about. So that's fun. But I was playing with the camera this morning, and it has these filters that you can put on it that add little things to your pictures. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but that's a selfie I took this morning, and it's huskies. Isn't it freaking cute? I was trying them all out, and I got to the one with the huskies, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah, icy glasses, exactly. Just what I need. I brought Icy out front this morning, and usually when I bring him out to the front porch, I sit and have my coffee out there and give him some treats. His kind of his breakfast is his treat time. And went in the kitchen and looked and realized I had no treats for him. I'm a bad doggy mom. So today later I've got to go to the store and make sure I get him some treats. So I got up early this morning and went through the good morning, Melissa. Good to see you. Oh, yeah, that having the music in the background would make it a little hard to hear, but I got up early this morning and wrote down everybody's names Well, I actually started it after the live yesterday when people started putting comments in. So I've got all the names in this little box here. So a little later on, we will do a drawing. Yeah, if it was a little warmer outside, I'd be doing my live from outside on the porch. That would be nice, but it's just a bit on the chilly side, so. Been doing laundry. Yeah, I did my laundry mostly Thursday and Friday, so I don't have any of that to do right now, other than putting stuff on hangers and putting it in the closet, which is my least favorite job. But I have to do that today, so. Good morning, sunshine. Welcome in, Marty. Nice to see you here. So is anybody working on anything fun? I have started, I'm going to make a garland of candy corns for my next door neighbor. I don't know if it's going to be a garland or just a few of them, maybe to hang on her front door, but I'm making candy corns for my neighbor. So I decided that would be my project to go toward her decorating, since she loves Halloween so much. It cracks me up that she's already decorating. Right, Karen? You know, one of my favorite things with candy corn is not my absolute favorite candy, but I like to get a can of peanuts and mix the candy corn and salted peanuts. And to me, that's a really good snack. Hello, Michelle. Welcome in. Nice to see you here. Oh, these are some dull scissors. I think I need to relegate those to be my garden scissors. They aren't doing very well for cutting yarn. The other day, your brother picked up your good yarn scissors to cut paper. Oh, yeah. I have a pair of Fiskars. They're the spring-loaded shears that I absolutely love. They will cut fabric like a dream. And yeah, anybody touch those for anything other than fabric, upon the pain of death. That's one thing. I used to work in the fabric store, and being that I'm left-handed, I had to have left-handed shears to cut fabric, and I always had the best ones in the store because I think there were only two of us that were lefties. So anybody ever tried grabbing my scissors, um, they threw them back down again pretty quickly because they figured it out that, yeah, they weren't fitting their hand quite right. When I worked in the sewing factory is when I just discovered the spring-loaded Fiskars, because one of the jobs that I did, I had to sew a seam and run a little piece of decorative piping in the seam. So it was like a piece of fabric, the decorative piping, and then another piece of fabric. And I would sew all of those like one after another in a chain. And at the end, I had to go back through the bundle and clip them all apart. Well, the gal that had been doing the job before me claimed that it gave her carpal tunnel. And, I really can't say anything. It could have, it may not have, but she sued the company. So um, they had given me a pair of really, really big, sharp scissors, and they were a monster to use. I think I probably would have ended up getting carpal tunnel just from using those stupid shears they gave me. So I brought my Fiskars from home, and those being spring loaded really helped me a lot because I didn't have to, put as much force into closing the scissors and then opening back up to be ready for the next clip. So yeah, I never had any problems with my wrists when I was working there, and I did all kinds of jobs in the sewing factory. I was kind of ended up being a utility worker in both factories that I worked in. The first factory that I worked in was a coat factory, and we made mainly kids' coats, which was a lot of fun. And then I worked in another factory where we made uniforms. We did uniforms for a lot of police departments, and then we had some government contracts. We did U.S. Customs, U.S. Forestry Service, U.S. Postal Service, and then we had a contract with FedEx, which was the absolute worst contract we ever had. It was just a booger from the start. Luckily, by the time we got around to the FedEx contract, I was no longer sewing. I was a quality assurance person. But that was also hard because the department I was in, I dealt with the entire front of the shirt. So that meant buttonholes, collars, any kind of embroidery, the pockets, all of that was under my view. I had to go through and inspect bundles of work and, see if there was stuff that needed to be corrected. Well, one of the things that happened with the FedEx contract is that the fabric that we were using, it was kind of almost like a plaid, but not really. I mean, it was a really weird fabric, but it was like white and blue, and then with a line of orange through every now and then. And I mean, the fabric itself was not bad to work with, but they had a lot of different colors of it. It was like dye lots and yarn. Dye lots and fabric do the same thing. And so when they would cut the shirts back in the cutting room, all of the pieces were numbered. And so sometimes part of your bundle would be one dye lot of fabric, part of your bundle would be another dye lot of fabric. So you had to be really sure that when you were sewing two different pieces together, that you were getting the same number piece, so that you didn't end up like with two different fronts or the same fronts and two different sleeves. I mean, it was just a huge mess. So yeah, that was the thing. Then we had to send out, they wanted the FedEx logo embroidered on the pockets. So we had to send the pockets out to a contractor to be embroidered. Well, that was, yes, a nightmare, Karen. Yes, it was. We would get pockets back with FedEx, you know, this way, that way, this way, that way on the pockets. I mean, they were just a mess. So then they would send, when they would send the pockets over to be embroidered, they would send like several extras. But then if we had a messed up pocket, we had to go through all the extras that they had done and match them up color wise. It was just, it was bad. It was bad. Yes, Julianne, awful does not begin to describe it. One of the girls came into work one day with a t-shirt. You've seen the FedEx logo, but it says Fed Up. Yeah, that was pretty much the feeling throughout the plant, believe me. In fact, the plant manager saw the t-shirt and he said, I want that t-shirt. We were very glad to see the back of that contract when it was over. We were so happy. Tank, I will have to say that other than being very dusty, it was not a bad place to work. I mean, it was not a sweatshop. We did have, you know, really good AC in the summertime, which, I mean, it was Tennessee. It kind of, you know, you had to have AC or your workers wouldn't survive. It was actually a very nice place to work. When I first started working there as a sewer, I worked on a night shift, which I loved. We worked 4 10-hour shifts. And so when I walked out of the place on Friday morning, I didn't have to see, hey, Valerie, welcome in. I didn't see you pop in. How are you doing? Haven't talked to you in a while. Everybody, Valerie is my sister. She lives over in Scotland, so we don't get to see each other much. And we don't talk super often either. So it's nice seeing you here. What are you up to these days, Valerie? Anything fun? Out for a walk. Okay, cool. How's Cora doing? Hello, Polly. Welcome in. stray kids 3 times last month. Good grief, Valerie. Too bad you're not a fan or anything. Julian, Valerie is a big K-pop. Yeah, she is a big K-pop fan. Stray Kids is one of her absolute favorite bands. Actually, you had a comment in there, Tammy, so I was able to put you in. I'm pretty sure that was you. I've got you down on the list, so I've got a slip of paper in here for you. So you have a Stray Kids tattoo now. Okay. Valerie, how old are you? Hello, Michelle. Nice to see you here. Thanks for stopping in. Everybody, if you haven't done it already, I'd really appreciate if you'd leave me a thumbie. It really does help the stream. I know that I'm just now getting back into doing some content, so help get me pushed out there. It's a spider? Valerie, seriously, you've lost your mind. Hey, Sandra, nice to see you in. Lana will be here when you get back, don't worry. Yes, your book is about a spider, and it is a very cute spider, I will have to say. It didn't give me the heebie-jeebies. Yeah, Val, send me a picture, definitely. Oh, Sky, please. What is up this morning? Huh? What's up with you? I know she doesn't need food. She's got food. I just fed her, so. It's funny that she's so loud lately. She's usually been so quiet, and then all of a sudden here lately, she's off the hook. As far as spiders go, yeah, well, I mean, you know, in a book, I can deal with the spider. In my house, not so much. Linda, she might, but I mean, it's daytime. I don't want to do that to her, so I'll just. What happened on today's date? Oh, happy anniversary. Yeah. Yes, today is the date of Valerie and her partner's anniversary. They had a very adventuresome wedding day because they got married at a biker bar. And it was pretty interesting. There were a lot of bikers out in the gazebo where they got married having a cookout. So once the ceremony was over, I had made a cake, and the folks that were there in the gazebo were having a cookout. So we kind of had a ready-made reception with several guests that we didn't really know, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Well, Marianne, back when I first got her, I did cover her up at night, but I don't even bother anymore. And like I said, she's usually fairly quiet. I had gotten a mirror and put it in her cage, thinking that maybe she would, because she had gotten really quiet, and I put the mirror in her cage, hoping that maybe she would feel like it gave her somebody to talk to. She got even more quiet. She would just sit there in front of that mirror and like stare at herself for hours. And it really bothered me. I mean, because she was just so disconnected from the rest of the world. So I ended up taking the mirror back out. And after that, she's been noisy again. She liked looking pretty. Well, she is a pretty bird. I will have to say that. Yeah, she's pretty bird. That's about the only use that she has, is being a pretty bird. Because really she doesn't do a whole lot else other than make noise and eat. But making seed messes, oh, she excels at that, definitely. Yeah, I need to. Seeds and feathers. She makes real good messes of seeds and feathers. I've got a big mess over there right now that I need to vacuum up. So I'm looking at my, how bright it is back here behind me, and thinking maybe I need to block off that window a little bit. I lowered the shade over on this side of me so that it's not quite so bright over there coming in, but that window behind me almost gives me a halo with my white hair. Crochet a cute curtain. Hey, that's an idea. That is definitely an idea. I have actually got some really cute sunflower fabric. It's kind of a sheer. So I had been making these dresses out of, you've seen those mandalas that they make for wall hangings. Well, I had bought a bunch of those, and when I got them in, I got to looking at them and I was going, these need to be clothes. So I figured out that if I cut out the center circle of the mandala and crocheted around it, what I ended up doing was using cotton thread, like the size 10 cotton thread that you make doilies with. So I crochet around it and make it into a tank top. And while I'm crocheting it, I work sequins into it, so it kind of has some sparkle to it. It's a lot of fun. Yes, definitely the hippie side of me said it needs to be closed. In fact, I wore my rainbow tunic out when I was shopping the other day, and I always get asked if I'm a hippie or a deadhead wearing that thing, which I don't mind. I guess I was a hippie born too late, so. Your halo is bent and rusty, Karen. I think probably a whole lot of us, our halos are bent and rusty. You lost your halo? I don't believe that, Lana. I don't believe that for a minute. You might just hide it once in a while, but as sweet of a person as you are, I don't think you've lost that halo. Okay, Valerie, well, thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of the day. I don't know what time it is over there. It's got to be evening, right? Oh, you can chat better. You're not leaving. Okay. I guess that's true. She's not leaving, Lana. Oh, it's 3 p.m.? Okay. It's not that late then. You cooking anything good for dinner today, Val? We're going to do our Labor Day cookout today. And we're going to cook steaks. I got some good steaks. Oh, I haven't had tom kha gai in a while, Val. I miss Thai food. I haven't convinced Shokri yet. Ah, that's a good idea, Valerie. Rotisserie chicken ought to work real well in there. Oh, you're starting the sewing portion of your dress today. Ooh, I can't wait to see what you do. I wish you lots of luck, Marty. I haven't sewn in years other than doing little, hi Sandy, doing little repairs here and there. I haven't sewn anything from scratch in quite a while. And I've got a ton of fabric. I really need to get my sewing machine out and make myself some new clothes. You have a crochet project for me? And what is that, Valerie? Maybe dreading hearing. Ooh, since 2006. Wow. Marty, I want you to meet my sister Valerie. If you ever get over to Scotland, you will have to go and see Valerie. Valerie, Marty is going to a wedding in Ireland. She is crocheting a blanket with the face of, oh, Valerie, what year do you want that? Oh, God. Yeah, Marty is going to a wedding in Ireland. Her son is getting married in a castle over there. So she is making her own dress. She's doing a chiffon underdress, and then overlay of it is a kind of berry purple crochet thread. Kennedy. Sandy, my sister is very into K-pop music and this band, Stray Kids. She went and saw them 3 times last month, so she's not a fan or anything. So, yeah, sometime before we pass away, that's about when you would get that blanket, I think. Maybe I could do you a diamond painting. I could get that done in about a week. Once in Amsterdam and twice in London. Okay. You can do that. Well, well, then do it yourself. Maybe you need to learn how to crochet. Oh, fun. That is cool. So, you guys, we are, I think, far enough into the live at this point that probably everybody that was planning to be here is here. And hopefully everybody that put in a comment yesterday is here. So I am going to go ahead and draw his newest post. I don't know if I did or not, Sandy. When did he put it in? So yes, good luck, everybody. Let's see who won. Tammy's. Do I have a Discord? No, I don't. So, Tammy's, if you are still here, please email me at my email address that is in my description, my page description, and I will need your full name, address, all the particulars so that I can get this yarn out in the mail to you. Congratulations. I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Make something really cool. See, and you were worried if you were in the drawing or not. You got in. Let me see if I can get you the email address. Oh, sometimes I love computers. There you go. There is the email address you'll want to use. My bird is named Sky. It's spelled like the Isle of Skye, S-K-Y-E. The girl that used to have her named her Sky, and she just named her with the SKY. But I decided she needed to be a little bit more bougie than that to live in my house. So she is white and blue. So she looks like a cloudy sky. Let me see if I can. I don't know if you can see her. I don't think I can get my camera over close enough to her, but right there is her cage. She's way up at the top by that disco ball. You snorted at bougie. Well, come on now. Bougie, yeah, it's one of my favorite words too. Uh, Actually, Marianne, if I was to let her out of the cage, she would not be climbing in my hair. She would go as far away from me as she could get. She is not a tame bird whatsoever. She wants nothing to do with me. If I go over and stick my hands in her cage at all, she's up at the top of the cage like she is now. Yeah, I haven't been able to get her hand tame. And I really wish I could, because the parakeet that I used to have was very, very tame. And he loved to, he'd come up, he'd sit on my shoulder and nibble on my earlobes, or just what Thor and Loki need. Oh, let me tell you a story about that. So when I had my previous parakeet, I also had 3 cats in the house. And we had Merlin, Warlock, and Shadow. And so one day we had Suleiman, the parakeet. We had him hanging up in our dining room. It was like just beside the doorway from the dining room into the kitchen. And so one day I was sitting at the dining room table, and heard a cat meowing. And it sounded like it was coming from up in the air. So I'm looking all over the place going, where is that darn cat? I was thinking I had a cat up in the curtains somewhere or something, you know. And so I'm looking all over the place for the cat. And I hear it again, and I realize it's coming from the bird cage. The bird learned how to meow, and he sounded just like one of the cats. Yes, Sandy, he did. And I looked at that bird and I said, oh, you stupid bird. I said, the cats already want to eat you. Why do you want to get their attention even more than you already do? So one day we would let all the cats were locked up in the basement or out of the house, we would let Suleiman out to fly, give him some exercise. So one day we had him let out of the cage, and my son came in the door, and one of the cats came in with him. Cat sees the bird, comes flying across the room, jumps up, grabs the bird out of the air, and is headed for the basement door with him. So the guy that I was living with at the time saw the cat with the bird in his mouth, and he was on the phone. So he's like talking to his friend on the phone. He says, "Hey, can you hang on a minute?" And he takes the phone and he goes whack on the cat's head. Cat drops the bird, takes off for the basement. The bird was fine, but yeah, that was almost a disaster. He definitely was planning on parakeet lunch. So yeah, and the cat was fine too. He was hard headed anyway, so he was a big monster cat. He was pretty much pure black, and he he used his 9 lives. Believe me, stuff that cat got into. It was amazing. But yeah, yeah, that's what Sky is, a budgie. My mom used to have a son conure, and she was a beautiful bird. She was also very noisy. Like as soon as she heard your foot hit the floor in the morning, she was squawking. Um, yeah, she was something else. But we, my mom got a Yorkie puppy, and when he was little, until his hunting instincts really kicked in, the bird and the Yorkie would play, and it was so cute watching them play. But also, one of the most hilarious things, we used to feed the parrot a mixture. It was like a fruit and seed mixture, and there was some of the fruit that she didn't really like. So she would take it out of the food dish and throw it out of her cage. Well, the Yorkie discovered the food and decided he really liked the fruit, so he'd go around her cage and clean up all the stuff that she had thrown out. One day, I kid you not, I wish I had video to prove it, but the bird went to the door of her cage with some of that fruit in her claw and literally fed the dog. Budgie and parakeet is the same. Yes, Lana. Hello, Amber. I'm sorry I didn't say hi sooner. I wasn't ignoring you. Ooh, yeah, getting home around midnight. I imagine you needed to sleep in some. I guess it was about midnight before I got to sleep. Um, got all involved in watching videos. So Amber, we did already do the drawing for the Neverland yarn, and Tammy's Crochet Critters, I believe is her full handle, won the drawing. So as soon as I get the email from her, I will be mailing her out some yarn. Oh, speaking of mailing out yarn, Amber, I have not gotten yours mailed out yet, so I will be doing that on Tuesday. So hopefully I can make the trip, just one trip, do it. Mail out Tammy's and yours at the same time. And Marty, are you still here? I have been tracking that stupid package that is supposed to be getting returned to me. Well, it made it all the way back to South Bend, but the last time I looked, as of yesterday, it was all the way back down in Indianapolis. I do not know what the heck they are doing. So hopefully it will show back up at my house one of these days and I can get it sent back out because this is insanity. Yeah. I don't know what the United Postal Service thinks they are doing, but they are not doing a very good job. No problem, Amber. I'm not that worried about getting paid for it, but I just wanted to let you know I hadn't gotten it out yet. So I had actually meant to take it to the post office when I went grocery shopping the other day, and I got out and was out driving around, and I went, oh no, I forgot the stupid. I live in Indiana, Sandy. I live in the northwest part of Indiana. Um, so yeah, it the package was going down to Georgia, and they said was undeliverable. And I might be the first to admit that I probably made a mistake in the address. So it went back and forth down there a few times, and then finally they started it. They did the return to sender thing, and it was supposed to be coming back up to me. Well, of course, coming from Georgia to South Bend, Indiana, it is going to hit Indianapolis before it comes up to South Bend. So yeah, it went to Indianapolis, came up to South Bend, went around South Bend a couple of different times to different facilities, and now is back down in Indianapolis. So if it goes all the way back down to Georgia, I am going to be hot. Exactly, Lana. I totally agree. They raise postage prices but get worse and worse service. Definitely. Definitely. So, what are everybody's plans for the rest of the day? Oh, that is so wonderful, Amber. That's so nice that he was able to dance with her and walk her down the aisle. That's great. Not a darn thing. A nap and then crochet. Cleaning and crocheting. Wow. Yeah, heart attacks can take a while to recover from, definitely. Crochet on a blanket, sleep, then crochet, then another live stream. I'll be looking forward to that, Camille. Crochet, then cook. 2 racks of ribs. Oh, yum. Hopefully crochet. Well, Anna, I hope you do some crochet. I am probably going to get off of here. Well, Sandy, I am glad that you're recovering. But yeah, it can take a while. My mom went through a lot with her heart. So luckily, so far, I don't seem to have any problems with mine. I'm very conscious of it because it does run in my family. A few years ago, well, few I say, it's been several years ago, I was having chest pains, and I had my husband take me to the emergency room because was concerned with heart problems running in my family the way it does, I decided I probably should go and get it checked out. Thank you, Kimmy. Thanks for stopping in. It was nice to see you here. So, yeah, I went to the hospital, and they ended up admitting me, and I didn't have any heart stuff going on that they could figure out, but I had something else going on that they couldn't figure out. And so I ended up being in the hospital for 5 days. And yeah, it was nice to see you too, Kimmy. They kept running test after test after test on me, trying to figure out what was going on. Well, the only thing that they could figure out, well, what was funny about it is I really didn't feel that bad, other than I kept spiking a fever. And they'd get the fever to break, and I'd be fine for a couple of hours, and then I would spike a fever again. And it seemed like about the time that I would spike back up was about the time that the doctor was making their rounds. So, of course, you know, when they came in to see me, I got this raging fever going on. So finally, they ended up letting me go home. And the only thing the doctor could figure out was I had some flu about 2 weeks before all of this went on, and all they could figure out is that this was a holdover from the flu that I had that was causing all this insanity. So they ended up keeping me home from work for another week or so, and I finally got better, but no idea what caused all of it. No idea, you know, where the chest pains came from, but it is what it is. Well, you guys, it is getting close to an hour, so I am going to say goodbye. It's been real nice spending time with everybody. I hope to keep this up as a weekend thing from now on. So I hope to see everybody next weekend. So look for my live to be scheduled for next Saturday and next Sunday, 9:30 a.m. And I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the day. I hope you all have a great Labor Day. Hope you do something fun with your family. And Lana, thank you. You're kind of the reason that I started doing the weekend mornings, so I appreciate your input. So yeah, so I will see all of you again next weekend. I'm sure I'll see a lot of you out on the YouTube streets. And you were a pest? No, not a pest. You pushed me in a good way. So bye, Valerie. Good seeing you. Nice talking to you. I'll be looking for your email. So I love y'all, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Everybody, take care. Yes, you'll see me with the chasers if they ever get back out there. Take care, Sandy. Bye, everyone. 2 emails. Okay, thank you, Valerie. Love you. Bye.